Hey everyone, welcome to day 20 of our Bible in a Year plan. Today we find ourselves in Job chapter 5 through 7. Life isn't always fair. There are seasons when we feel as though the weight of the world is pressing down on us. We can't seem to find our way out. If you're in one of those seasons, you're not alone. In the book of Job, we meet a man who's going through unimaginable suffering. And the chapters we're reflecting on today, Job 5 through 7, speak deeply to our struggles with pain, confusion, and even the silence of God. In Job 5, we hear from Eliphaz, one of Job's friends. His advice seems well-meaning at first, encouraging Job to accept God's discipline and trust that it's for his good. He believes that suffering is a result of sin or missteps. And if Job just humble himself, God will restore him. Many of us have heard similar advice in our own lives. Everything happens for a reason. Or perhaps God's just trying to teach you something. While there's truth in God's sovereignty over our circumstances, we also know that life's pain isn't always neatly tied up in answers. Then in Job 6, we hear Job's honest cry. His soul is weary, his pain is overwhelming. He wishes he had never been born. He feels misunderstood by his friends, and his words echo the frustration many of us feel when we're in a dark season. Why is this happening to me? Job is raw, he's vulnerable, and he's questioning everything. And that's okay. God invites us to come to him with our doubts, our anger, and our brokenness. He's not offended by our honesty. Transitioning then into Job 7, Job continues his lament, but there's something powerful in his honesty. Even in his questioning, he turns to God. His frustration doesn't drive him away from God, it leads him into deeper conversation with God. He wonders why his life is so full of suffering and what's God's purpose in it all. He doesn't pretend to have it all figured out, and neither should we. So let's learn from both Job and Eliphaz. First, we see that suffering isn't always a simple cause and effect issue. Sometimes pain doesn't make sense. We can't tie it up with a neat explanation. But we can trust that God is still in control, even in the mess of it. Eliphaz's advice is a reminder that God often uses hardship to refine us. But it's okay if we don't understand the why right away. Job's response teaches us that we can be honest with God. It's okay to question, and it's okay to feel upset, to wrestle with our doubts. Job doesn't just vent to his friends, he directs his heartache to God. And while God may not answer immediately, he sees and hears Job's cries. God isn't distant. He's present in the midst of our pain. When life doesn't make sense, God invites us to come to him with our honest heart. He's not afraid of our questions or anger. In fact, he welcomes our vulnerability and meets us there with grace.